What up? My name is Drew, and welcome to the vlog. Behind me here, basically, I have my 1990 Honda CRX, and I bought this car a couple years ago, and basically everything that you kind of see as it now is I've fixed it up to where it is right at the moment. The interior, I painted the exterior, put the Mugen Pro 2 body kit on it, wheel suspension, and the B16A. But the only thing that I didn't do is I didn't pull out the engine and paint the engine bay. So in this episode, I'm going to be going through and removing the engine, sanding it all down, throwing a coat of paint on the engine bay. I'm also going to be painting the door jambs, and there's a few things that are kind of around the car that need some attention, fixing up as a couple years of driving that I want to bring it up to scratch. But basically, after I do those things, this car is going to be going off for sale, and move it on so I can work on a couple other projects that I got going on. So let's get cracking into it, and I'll show you underneath the hood. So as you can kind of see through here, it's just, old. It's definitely never been painted or cleaned up before, so it needs a good spruce up. When I pull it out, I'll clean up the engine and paint the block and paint the gearbox as well. But it just needs an overall tidy up and to get this thing back into top condition. First things first, gotta crack the axle nuts before you get the car all jacked up and there's no pressure on the ground, so it's important to get these things loose. Alright, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. So I've got pretty much everything on the engine side actually all disconnected. So I'll take you through some of it. Alright, so we've got the electrical side here all disconnected. We've got the fuel feed line down in here disconnected. We've got all the engine harness side, all the wiring disconnected here. On this side, we've got the wiring disconnected. On the passenger side, we have the power steering pump all disconnected. And the last couple things basically on the engine is I've got to disconnect the clutch cable, disconnect the ground, and then that is pretty much about it on the actual engine side. Oh, and obviously the headers, the J-pipe down here, disconnect this. So after those few things are disconnected, basically I've got 3 engine mounts. So there's the front torque mount, there's your right and your left side, and then there is actually an engine mount at the back there. And then after those are done, basically there is going to be your shift linkages to disconnect and then pull out the drive shafts. And after those 2 things are done, then the engine's ready to come out. So All right, so now it's time to get going and disconnecting the shift linkages. So come under here, that point there is your shift linkage. It has a little cover over it, and then it gets to the bitch pin. So we'll get rid of that bitch pin, disconnect the other side, and that should free up the shift linkage. All right, this thing is called a bitch pin for a reason. So it's a bitch to get out 99% of the time. So.
Few moments later.
Here we go. This right here. Dumbass little bitch pin. Right, so underneath the car it's just a little bit hard to film, but this is the shift linkages. This is the section that hooked onto the gearbox, and then obviously your shifter itself. So that's now out. Now it's time to work up on the drive shafts. I got to drain the transmission fluid because once you pop out that drive shaft, a bunch of trans fluid will go everywhere. So I'll drain that first, and then I'll pop out the shafts. All right, so right at that time where we get the crane in place and start connecting it up to the motor to get it out of here. So. Alright, so we got the engine all pulled out. This is the aftermath, what it all is. I was getting hung up a little bit on the backside here, but overall came out pretty good. And lots of cleaning to go. Start pulling out a lot of these accessories and hoses and different lines, and the clean job starts. All right, so we've got the car, we've got a few of the electrical stuff all masked up, and I'm ready to start pressure washing it. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of degreaser down on it, get a little Scotch pad, start scotching it all back, and giving it a good pressure wash. So let's get into it. All right, I got the first one done. It looks heaps better already, but I'm gonna go over it one more time, give it another scotchy down with some degreaser, and get into a little bit more of the crevices and stuff like that that I missed. And then afterwards, I'll pull it back inside, and I will let it all dry out, and then give it another scotchy again. So let's get into it. All right, guys, we're back at it. Basically, I've got all the engine bay all sanded down. I just scotched it. I'm basically using a direct gloss paint. So I'm gonna lay the paint directly down on this after it's all been scotched up. Like I said, with this car, I'm gonna be selling it at the end of this. So it was just to clean up. This is not going to be a perfect job that, you know, everything is bogged and sanded down and filled, welded, all the rest of it. This is just a quick cleanup and repaint the bay, just to kind of look it a little bit tidier. So right now I'm going through and I'm going to be masking everything up and getting it as much as I can to clean surface. So I'll wax and grease it, and if there's any other Scotch pads that I gotta run through just so it's all etched up. And so let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna give it a good wipe down with some Prepsol. I've blown some air already on the car, and then we're gonna start laying down our first coat of paint. So let's get into it. All right, so mixing this up. This is a direct gloss paint, so it actually has the clear coat or the gloss in the paint itself. So this car, when I first painted it, was done all in the same paint. So it basically eliminates the process. It's still a 2K paint, so still you got to add a hardener to it, and it's just a little bit thicker than a base and a clear. You still have to thin it out to where it comes out the gun all right, but it's a good, easy entry-level paint to be able to paint with. All right, so I got it all painted up. It came out pretty good. There's a few things that I wish that I would have done a little bit different with every painting job that I do, but yeah, it's all painted, it's all covered, it looks good. There's no orange peel throughout the engine bay, not too much dust or grime or anything like that. I'll show you a few closer looks. All right, so we got the motor out. We've got it sitting here on the dolly, and this thing is greasy, it's grimy, and it definitely needs a good clean out. But before I do any of that, I'm gonna start taking off a bunch of the accessories, and then I'm also going to tape it up and put some bags around some of the important bits that I don't want to get wet, and then we'll put some degrazer and some chemical wash on it. So let's get cracking. All right, so I'm gonna take
a lot of these bracketry and accessories off. So this is for the mount. I'm actually going to take off the harness because a lot of this stuff I want to rewrap and just clean up by hand without having to get it soaked wet. I'm going to leave the headers on for now just because it will, as I'm gurneying it, it's going to not have as much water or risk of water basically going into the piston side.
Alright, so I've got the motor all outside. I'm gonna throw a bunch of degreaser on it. I'm gonna get a little Scotch pad and a brush, and we're gonna get cracking into it, see how clean we can get this thing. So let's get it. Alright, so I've got the motor here. It's been all sanded down. It's been all degreased. I put wax and grease remover on everything. So now I'm gonna get it all masked up, and I'm gonna start to lay down a little bit of enamel primer. Ready to lay down some primer. So the primer that I'm using is basically the VHT engine enamel primer. So this is rated at a little bit of a higher temp, and I've always had great success with this. And then I'm going to be running the engine enamel, but this is the universal aluminum, so it actually looks like a kind of original cast aluminum color. So I'm going to pump it with a couple colors of this, and then I'll finish it off with the engine enamel gloss clear, just so it's really coated and it's really on there and it wipes down a little bit easier. So final product on that. All right, so I've got it all painted up, just drying it to take off the last little bits of tape, but man, as you can see, it comes out way cleaner. So that kind of cast aluminum paint kind of acts like it's obviously cast, but it just changes the engine completely from being an old grimy, dirty thing to something that looks nice, clean, and fresh. So I'm stoked, came out really good. All right, so I wanted to give this engine a little bit of a freshen up. Basically, I've got here a Dayco timing belt kit. So it comes with a new belt, new water pump, new tensioner pulley, and the seals for it. So I'm gonna crack this thing open. I'm gonna get this thing at all TDC, and I'm gonna change over the belt. So let's get cracking. Right, so I got my timing cover off. Basically, there's a few things that you want to do. There's some marks here on these cams that says up, so you got to make sure those are pointing up. There's a mark in the middle here of where your cams line up.
your cam gears line up. There's marks here, that's your top dead center along with the fin. And then I also put a screwdriver inside here so I know that the cylinder 1 is at top dead center. I got this little tool. It basically, I slot it in here, and it locks the cams together so you can't get any movement there. And then basically I can take off the harmonic balancer on this one. So. As you can see, I've got the two water pumps. This is obviously new and old, but this is definitely on its last legs. There's a few fins here that are kind of like bent straight, and the corrosion and stuff like that on this has been pretty bad. And what mainly was that I wanted to replace it is the pump was actually leaking. So as you can see, the gasket itself is just completely flat. So this hasn't been changed for quite a while, so this will make a huge improvement for water pressure around the engine, and obviously a really good safeguard. So let's get this new one in. All right, so we've got everything on and put together. Basically, everything's in time. All the marks are lining up. The timing top dead center mark is lining back up to cylinder 1. So everything's ready to go. I'll just get this thing all put back together, and next step is basically working on getting it into the car. All right, we're back at it. So when I first pulled the motor, basically I didn't have the hoist. So now I've got the hoist. I actually want to pull the motor in from below and lower the car down onto the motor and then lift it into place. So I've never done it before, but from what I have kind of like tested, it's a lot easier and a lot better. So there's less kind of angling and stuff like that you have to do. So I'm gonna take advantage of the setup that I got and lower the car down onto it. All right, so we're back, and we've got everything. I've got the drive shaft basically in, and I've hooked up the shift linkages already, so we're putting everything back together. I'm just gonna stick on the exhaust side and put it up onto my headers here, and after that we should be able to lower down the car and start working on putting everything back inside the engine bay. So let's get to it. All right, so I've got pretty much everything back together and I've got it on, and it's time to give it a shot and start it up and see if she fires. So after that, then I'll start filling up some of the fluids back into it, and I've already taken off the injector clips, cranked the motor over a few times, let the oil get pumped around into the different galleries and everything. So we should be good to go, and let's fire it up and see if she runs.
Sounds good. It was a little bit rough. I think the timing distributor, and I got to retime with the timing light to make sure that it's all in sync with how it's supposed to be run. So stoked, it's back in, it's running. That's half of it. You know, you can have ground issues and different things that can definitely limit you from getting it started. So I'm stoked, it's up, it's running. Now to fine tune it, get it rolling. All back together, so I am stoked on how it's all come out. The next thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be cleaning it. I'm gonna give it a quick cut and polish, and I'm gonna take the valve cover off, and I'm gonna put new wrinkle black paint basically on that, and then give it a good detail and clean over. But all in all, I'm stoked. She looks good, and we'll get cracking into the next part. All right, so one of the last things that I wanted to do to this thing is take off the valve cover and paint it in a new wrinkle black. So it looks a lot more OEM opposed to this red, and this red is pretty nasty and dirty. So let's get cracking, take this thing off, and I'll get some cam strip on it, which is a paint stripper, and give it a good clean, put some alcohol on it, wax and grease, clean it all up, and then get ready for some new paint. So let's get into it. I'm gonna end the episode here. I appreciate y'all. If you can, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and I got a bunch more episodes all built up, so I'm excited to get those rolling out for you, and I don't want you to miss them. And if you want to hit me up on Instagram, I'll throw the link here. It's just built_by_Miller, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace and love.